Okay, let's do this one more time. Welcome to this introduction to Blender 4.4, where I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to go from an absolute beginner to being a pro 3D artist. The very first video will be about introducing you to Blender. What's Blender? What can it do? And I'm a big fan of show and then tell. So the first thing I'm gonna do is show you a video from the official Blender Studio YouTube, which are the actual creator of the software. And they've recently published a project called Project Gold, which is amazing. And I'm gonna play the video for you so you can get a sense of all the cool things that Blender can do. So this is, I think, a great example of Blender at its best. Obviously, an amazing team, super talented. But what you just saw is a short animation movie in a stylized style, and they went over a little bit of all the features. Well, not all, but some of the features that Blender has, like 3D modeling, texturing, rigging, animating, and a bunch of other techniques that we will cover over the course of this class. And right now I am on the official website, which is blender.org. Blender is free. It is created by the Blender Foundation, which has made it a point to make the software free now and forever. If you want to, you can donate to support the foundation as they continue to develop the Blender software. At this moment in time, Blender 4.4 is the latest, which is the one we're going to download. In fact, I myself need to update my own version, so I'm gonna click on download. What this is gonna do is it's gonna bring me to the download page, which should automatically determine which kind of operating system you are running. But if it does not, you can download it for Windows or macOS or Linux and so on. Now, as I do that, what I would like you to know is that if you go on download page, there is another page called LTS, which stands for long-term support, where you can download other versions, previous versions of Blender that are scheduled for long-term support, meaning that the developers will continue to support the software for the upcoming years. And also there is a second page, which is releases, where you can download any previous version of Blender. So this is the 4 series, and Blender 4.4 is the one we just downloaded, but you can go back and download 4.3, 4.2, and so on. And this might be useful to you in the future when you learn how to use plugins, because it might be that some plugins have been developed to work with a specific version, and so you might need to install that specific matching version. Although in most cases, plugins are maintained to stay up to date with the latest version. And also when you create a project in Blender, say you create it in even something quite outdated now, like Blender 3.0, it would still be very much compatible with 4.4, and to a degree, unless you're using the latest features, most of the core features have been around for a while. So if you were to create something in Blender 4.4 and then you had to go back and say you're working on another machine and it's running Blender 4.0, there are good chances that the project will still work, at least if it's something using well-established features. All right, so go ahead, install Blender, depending on which operating system you are running, and I will see you in the next video where we will start to cover the interface of Blender and make sense of it so we can start to play with it.